All right, our guests are all seated around the table, and so I'm going to go ahead and get everybody started. And so I have to grab their attention first, and I'll just say, okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. I just want to start out with some introductions, and let's find out a little bit about you. So if you guys don't mind, let's just go around the circle, and you can tell me your name, maybe like what you do or about your family, something like that, and tell me how you know our hostess. And so they go around and they introduce themselves. And I'm listening intently at this point because I want to listen for needs that they might have and places that people that might need our opportunity. So they go around and introduce themselves. And I say, okay, great. Well, I'm Shanna, and I know our hostess Susie because I met her at her friend's skincare class, and she just had so much fun and she loved the products, and so she wanted to get some girls together, share the products with you, and also she gets some free stuff for you guys being here. So let's I thank her for getting you all together, and thank you all for being here today because I know there's a lot of other places that you could have been. Now I'm just going to quickly tell you about me. I'm Shanna Scordo, and I am an independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay Cosmetics. And Mary Kay is just my favorite thing to do. I used to work a full-time job, but I was able to leave it to do this full-time. I love working with women. I love teaching them and helping them to look great and feel great, and I love the products that I represent. I first tried these products when I was in college. I was going to school to be a landscape contractor, which is kind of funny because to see me now, you wouldn't know that back then I was not a makeup girl, and I did not take care of my skin, and so I had a lot of skin problems. My mother-in-law had used Mary Kay for over 20 years. She loves it. Her skin looks wonderful. She got me started on the product, and I used it for almost 2 years, and no one ever told me about this amazing company. And so it just so happened then, the chain of events brought me to be landscaping. I was out of school at this time and working full-time as a landscaper, and I was landscaping the yard of a Mary Kay director in Tyrone. She drove a pink Cadillac, and I didn't know what that meant at that time, but she saw me working outside and she said, that girl's just working way too hard. And so she told me about this company, and I just fell in love with the business opportunity, with the culture, with the women that are in it, and with just everything that this company has to offer. I would have never in a million years thought that this would be my full-time job, but after it just made sense, and so it just was a good fit for me. So throughout the class I'll share information with you, and maybe it's something you would consider for yourself, or maybe you'd know somebody else who needs a little bit of extra money, or a backup plan for a job that's not very secure, or someone who just needs a positive atmosphere. And so if you're thinking of anything like that, just watch what I do today and see if it's something that you could see yourself or your friend doing. Anyone know who this lovely lady is? I point to this picture. Well, and they'll usually guess Marilyn Monroe or Dolly Parton is the other one they usually guess. But I say, anyone know who this lovely lady is? Well, this is Mary Kay Ash. She was a real person. She wasn't just a marketing tool. She founded our company in 1963 after an extensive career in other direct sales companies. She left those experiences with a really bad taste in her mouth, and she wanted to do something a little different to change the opportunities that were available for women at the time. And so she was going to write a book. She took an early retirement. She wanted it to be about how to treat women in corporate America today. When she finished writing down her list of good and bad experiences, she realized she had developed a business plan, and all she needed was the right product and the right structure to put that plan into action. So she chose cosmetics because it happens to be recession-proof, and she already had a product she'd been using that she loved, and so she bought the rights to that product. Now, the recession-proof part of it is awesome because women don't stop buying their makeup, their lipstick, and all of that just because of hard times. In fact, our sales often go up. That's usually what happens. That's called the lipstick indicator. And it is a relatively low-priced item that makes women feel better. And so the sales of that go up in times of recession. The same thing happens with tobacco and alcohol. So if you know of anybody who's gotten laid off and immediately went out to the bar and started drinking, you'll know that that is very true, and lipstick is the same way. Now, she built the structure of it around things that were very important to her, like her values, the golden rule. Anybody know what the golden rule is? Give them a chance to answer that. That's to treat other people the way that you want to be treated, and also around integrity and honesty, and the motto of God first, family second, and career third. She wanted to offer a career with ultimate flexibility to these women who really, if they had to work, it was almost impossible to balance raising a family around the jobs that they were doing. And women were making about half of what men were making for doing the same work. So she wanted to put this together and said that there was no quotas and no territories so that women could work as little or as much as they wanted to or needed to. And the no territories meant if they had to move, they could take their business with them. Everybody told her she was out of her mind and that it would never ever work. But here we are 46 years later, and it's an incredibly successful company. This is our corporate headquarters on the front page, on the page here. I've been there. It's a beautiful place. And what she has built from an initial investment of $5,000, in 46 years later, we are now a completely debt-free company. We're huge. We have almost 2 million consultants. We're in 40 countries. And we are one of the top 10 best companies for women. We have more women in Mary Kay earning over $50,000 and $100,000 a year than there are in any other company. So it truly is a company where dreams can come true, where women can make a great executive income without sacrificing the things that are important to them, like their families or whatever happens to be in their life that's important. And so that's why I like to take time to tell you about that. And I'll talk about it a little bit more later. But I went 2 years without knowing that this company could potentially change my life. And so I don't want you guys to go 2 years without knowing that this company is a wonderful thing. So what we'll do today, and unless anybody has any questions on any of that, okay, well what we're going to do is I'll share some skincare and glamour with you. We always spend more time on the skincare than we do on the glamour. And the reason is that's the first thing people see is your skin. And you have it forever. And so when we can make that look good, you feel a lot more confident about yourself. And when a woman feels good, she can do anything. So after we do the skincare, we'll do a dash out the door glamour look. And that is just a very simple look that I'll explain as we go through. And at the end, then I like to sit down with each one of you individually. You have an individual consultation with me, and we have a space set up in the living room here. I've already talked with Susie about it. It's nice and private because I feel that, first of all, there's no obligation to buy anything tonight. But whether you would want to buy a little or a lot or nothing at all, that's no one's business but yours and mine. And so we have a little individual space in there to sit down and talk. If you don't want to purchase anything, I would still love to talk to you and just see what you thought of everything and get your opinion on some things. Now, in Mary Kay, we always try to do 2 appointments. And at that time, whenever we sit down, we'll schedule that second facial for you. The 2 appointments, you're entitled to these appointments. I really recommend that you take advantage of them, especially if you decide to take anything home tonight, such as skincare. The first appointment, which is what you're at right now, is the time for you to learn about the products that you're trying and then to give them a try. Because I have a lot of these products in my car outside. And so you'll get to go home with them tonight and try them for a couple weeks. When we get together for that second appointment, I get to check up on you and see how it's working for you. All the products are guaranteed by the company. If there's anything that you don't like for whatever reason, I can exchange it out. It doesn't cost me anything. You can get a new product or you can get your money refunded. It doesn't cost me a dime. It doesn't cost you a dime. I would rather have you exchange something 100 times and find something that you love rather than ever have a product that you're not going to use. So please, that's why we get together that second time. And tonight is Susie's second facial, and she took advantage of a couple of the other things that you can do at your second facial. One is tonight you're all just getting what's called a dash out the door glamour look, very simple glamour. But since I know Susie's features and her preferences, I was able to put together this custom look for her. And you can see it's got the full look here with eyeshadows, eyeliner, lip liner, the whole 9 yards. And this is custom designed for her based on a computer program that I have. So she gets to try that tonight, and you get to do that at your second facial as well. The other thing at the second facial, you can choose to share it with some girlfriends. And when you do that, you get free product. Susie loves you guys, and she wanted to have you here because she just loves having you around. But at the same time, she also wants you here because she gets free stuff. And so I'll show you what she gets. Tonight, she's taken advantage of our 10, 15, 20 program, and this is a wonderful way to get tons of free product. And I've had women earn upwards of 100 and more in free product just by using this 10, 15, 20. And if you're worried that no one's going to buy anything at your party, don't worry, because we've got half-price items that you get here, even if nothing's ever sold, which that never happens. So we can talk about that more at the end. Now, I do want you to, as we go through, the back of your profile card, I want you to write down everything that you try so that we don't forget what you tried. And as you do that, just make a smiley or a frowny beside it if you liked it or if you didn't like it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started.